are going right now to the Barbican. We're gonna meet Maxine Kwok, who is one of the violinists at the London Symphony Orchestra. She's gonna show us around. Right.
So, Lionel, it's your first time walking into the Barbican Centre.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
I'm nervous.
You're nervous? You don't need to be nervous. So this is where the audience will come in for your concert on Sunday night. I think it's your debut in London.
In the UK.
Is that in the UK?
Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, you look like a creative like me, but yet you were in in some kind of financial job.
Yeah, right. I was working in the hedge fund space.
Amazing.
And I was just doing financial models every day, calculating loads of numbers.
There's lots of kind of art going on. There's a gallery over there, the theatre, which is through that way, and the concert hall is kind of over there and below where we are right now.
Okay.
And you can see there's something going on in the hall right now, but basically all the audience will be milling around down there, and the entrances.
So at my previous concert at Kennedy Center, some of my fans, they came to the building. It's like a very big complex, just like Barbican.
Yeah.
And they were like, how did Lionel make it here? Like, they were like so impressed by the grandeur of it all.
Oh, no.
It was so funny.
I think so.
I like that City of London thing.
Oh, yeah,
It looks so royal.
These are all the apartments. As you can see.
That's where you live.
I live on the one that's parallel to this one.
Oh my gosh.
But
I don't think any other concert halls have like this level of immersion.
Really. Lionel, tell me a bit about your upbringing. So, when did you start learning piano?
Oh, when at the age of 5, like every other Asian.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my parents would have done it earlier if not for the fact that we were in China before that age.
Okay.
So, but if they were there, it would have been like 2.
Obviously, you were not considering a career with the piano at the time. As you got older, you went into finance, and did the piano take a back seat? Was it something you still really enjoyed doing?
Yeah, I think, piano has always been like a part of my musical expression ever since I was in middle school or high school. And then afterwards, even though I went the finance route, I still loved it to the point where I was like making YouTube videos and posting my own compositions online.
Yeah, because you've got an absolutely phenomenally huge following on YouTube. I follow you.
Did someone tell you that? Someone tell you to say that?
Did you? No, you do. But what you started doing was just performing your own compositions as a kind of a creative outlet to what you did for your day job, which was obviously something very, very different. Just crunching numbers, going to work in a suit at Wall Street. So was that a really lovely kind of duality to the way you felt your life was?
It wasn't a lovely duo. It was like a violent conflict of diverging interests. And at some point, one of them had to go. One of these paths had to be eliminated.
Okay. And
so
music won out.
At the age of 29, I had to choose. I was given the opportunity to make the choice, actually.
Okay.
And then I chose music because I think if I had stayed in finance, it would have been very lucrative, but it wouldn't have been so fulfilling.
Yeah, of course, music is a passion, and for any of us who are in music. So do you feel that things like YouTube and social media have really helped you get to this point?
As a musician or as an artist, I think so. I mean, I would say YouTube. It really opened up all the different paths that are possible for artists and musicians today. And so many people are creating these different kinds of arts, whereas in the past, you had like gatekeepers like the London Symphony Orchestra, which would select which composers to play, you know?
Yes.
And that was the only way you could present your music to the world.
Yes, absolutely. And which leads me on to, you know, one of your most popular YouTube videos. I think it's had at least 9 million hits, is Moonlight Sonata.
The dubstep version.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, do you hear these classics and just think, actually, I can bring something that will just capture a different part of people's imagination to music that is obviously extremely well known to all of us? Is that something that just came to you, or did you really think it through?
It's actually interesting because I've been like trying to remix classical pieces ever since like many years ago when I was in high school. I liked to play around with the melodies like Violinist or Moonlight Sonata, and just play around with them in a way that like was different than, you know, playing it straight through. And so I like made like this really epic 12-minute remix of Pachelbel's Canon in D, and I called it Pachelbel's Nightmare. Okay. Yeah, it was just like a reimagination of Canon in D, and that was back in 2012. And then the EDM stuff I didn't get into until 2020. I was talking to a DJ producer that I had followed for many years. Okay. I went to his shows, at like festivals like, you know, Ultra or the EDM festivals.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to him on Instagram and telling him that I was such a huge fan. And then, you know, he looked at my work. He's like, "Oh wow, your piano's great. Like you're a really good pianist." So then we're like, what if we did something together? Okay. And that's when we remixed For Release, which was the first EDM thing that I did.
Were you quite surprised at how it took off, that people were like, actually, we love this?
Yeah.
Because it could easily have gone like, people like, what do you think you're messing with? But, you know, the great masters of music, you know, were you quite surprised that people were like, actually, this is so fun and I really engage with it?
I received a lot of feedback from, you know, classical purists as well as newcomers to classical music, and I've seen the whole spectrum of feedback, of opinions. I think people who do like it are, you know, people who have a more casual attitude towards classical music. A lot of times it's actually older people, like older grandparents, that they listen. They're like, "Oh wow, I've been listening to this Moonlight Sonata all my life, and now I can hear it in a different way," and they love it.
So are you excited? This is your first concert in the UK. You're playing in London at the Barbican Centre. What can audiences expect from Sunday's performance?
They are going to be in for a treat for sure, because this is the first time that I'm hiring a small orchestra, right? It's more musicians than ever that I have ever worked with on stage to present my music. We're premiering a few different pieces this time, and 2 of them are my orchestrations of my fans' pieces. So
wow.
I have quite a few like young composers in my community, like from ages of 13 to 20, and they've written these pieces that, even though quite like technically they're not really very mature, but the melodic ideas that they have are so pure and so full of love, because you know they're just getting started in their musical journey. They're not yet tainted or corrupted by the commercial aspects. Right. So all the music they make is out of love. And so I've orchestrated 2 of their pieces, which fantastic. I'm presenting with the orchestra that I've hired for this concert.
That's amazing. So that is really taking you know, your fans above and beyond. I mean, orchestrating something is quite a significant amount of time, skill and energy to do.
I don't think they actually realize how big this will be.
Yeah.
But once they see the final result, they will be. Yeah. You know, it will be a life.
And will you play your favorite things that people love from YouTube? Can they expect to see, you know, you at the piano?
I will be at the piano the whole time. I will start off with some piano solos, and then we'll move into piano trios with violin and cello. And so most of this will be my originals.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna move into the EDM stuff, which
wow,
is
okay.
probably might be one of the first or few times that Barbican Hall has ever produced like really mechanical dubstep sounds like
Yeah.
that just don't really belong in a concert hall. And then afterwards it will be the orchestral stuff.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I mean, what does belong in a concert hall and what doesn't? I mean, if it's music and people are there to enjoy it, then I think everything has its place, has value, you know, as long as people want to see music being played. And do
Yeah.
you like to engage with the audience? Are you going to talk to people? Are you going to, you know, try and sort of get them involved at all?
Yeah. So as a YouTuber, I'm very connected with my audience. Like I know so many of my fans like on a personal basis. And you know, some of them are coming to the concerts. Actually, I know a few of them who are traveling from Germany who were at my concert in Germany last October.
Wow.
So, and I know them on a first name basis. So for me, it's like when I get up on stage, it's gonna be like talking to a bunch of my friends. And I'm just gonna be sharing this really awesome program that I prepared for them.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm very excited for you to be able to be in a big space. I mean, the Barbican seats over 2,000 people.
It seats a lot of people.
It's a very friendly stage. I love sitting on that stage.
Yeah.
You'll feel, you know, the warmth of the people surrounding you. But I think it's going to be amazing, and I wish you all the luck.
Yeah, thank
for
you
your
so
concert
much.
on Sundays.
All right, here we go. It's a hot dog, British hot dog. My first time trying a British hot dog. It's not even that good.